I just finished building myself a snowblower for my loader structure, but as you can hear, without a good solid frozen base, I'm just blowing a small amount of snow with a ton of gravel. The key here is to compact the snow at the beginning of the season and hope it freezes so it will cover and protect your gravel. Okay, some people will do nothing about it. They just lower the ski shoes on their snowblowers, and with time the base will form itself eventually. Or if you're like me and have an OCD about your driveway, you could perform, as I call it, a back and forth car waltz. Yes, it works, but there must be a better way to compact the snow and form a solid frozen base. After a trip at my local tire dealer, I picked up for free a bunch of worn out tires. And I think I was allowed to grab those. I just don't know why they put them behind such a big fence. Anyway, when I went there at midnight, no one told me otherwise. So you're starting to get the picture of where I'm going with these tires. Well, you saw the thumbnail, right? And you might be surprised, but when it's dark and dogs are barking at you, it's harder than you think to pick up tires of same sizes. I think I did my best, but just in case, I picked up 2 extra tires. These are 15-inch tires, and I took measurements of the height and then I stacked them to get the width of 8 tires. The goal is to be as wide as this snowblower. I don't want anything sticking out at the back of the tractor, so I'll compress the tires just a smidge to get the right width. With these 2 basic dimensions, I went to town on the computer, and oh yeah, I don't need the 2 extra tires. They were too big anyway. With my personal mission of saving the planet, I once again repurposed used steel. For my more regular listeners, you know these are my faves. After grinding up some old welds, I started the assembly of the 3 arches I'll need for this build. Okay, now I'm gonna take a break of speaking. What about a 30-second montage with music? I'm gonna make myself a coffee. You want one?
Hey!
And I'm back. Okay, I have to admit that there's not just advantages of working in cold weather. Now I'm starting to work on the 3-point attachment. These are the plate for the top arm. You know, that part. Yeah, I don't know the name, but if you do, let me know. Oh, bonus point for wrong funny answers. And these are the pins that go in the bottom arms. Still don't know their name, so let me know. Okay, when it comes to steel, some say I might suffer from hoarding. But you see that little triangular shaped piece? This one comes from my loader's bucket. I just don't know when the piece is small enough to throw away. These 2 steel angles will receive the counterweight. You'll see that in a minute, but for now, let's fully weld the frame. Okay, shop tip number 82. Tired of being smoked by your old diesel tractor? Go get yourself a 25 feet flexible dryer hose. Your lungs will thank you later. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, apparently it has a limited time of use with a pointy muffler tip. But a roll of duct tape later, we're back in business. So if she doesn't find you handsome, she should at least find you handy. Shop tip number 83. When painting something, find the hardest spot to reach and start from there. Always start from there. I know that our brains are wired in a way that we want to start from the bit in front of us, but resist the urge. Your paintless clothing will thank you later. Also, it's a good time to fix those ugly welds. Now for the wheels. Oh, and by the way, I picked up that one from A-Bomb79, but these rollers with a small tab to grab the edges are really handy. Maybe you should think about getting one. Okay, I'm building a cross-shaped wheel, and the middle section will go through a 2.5-inch pipe. A good and quick way to remove material is with a null saw to extend their life. Slow down. Yeah, I'm going half the RPM of a drill bit. Okay, the cut will not be precise, but if you can afford a boring head, it's not a problem anymore. Okay, I'm tired of fiddling around to get things square. Yeah, we need to talk. Last year, at the beginning of 2023, I tried something different for my channel. I'll spare you all the backstory that went with this one, but in a nutshell, it failed miserably. So this year, I'm also trying something else, and I've been talking about this in some previous videos, but I want to design new tools for my shop. And I want to give you the opportunity to get the plans so you can build those tools for your own shop. And I'll start with a welding fixture table with a bunch of accessories. It's gonna take some time to develop such a product, but I know I'll come up with a great line of tools, and I'll design them in such a way that with only a grinder and a welder, you could build these tools. So yep, that's the big 2024 reveal. Yay! But where were we? Oh yeah, fiddling to get things square. So I made a bulkier wheel for both sides of the tires. And I'm gonna make similar cross wheels to go between tires, but using flat bars because I want them to be as slim as possible. Using the master wheel and a cross section of the axle, I marked the holes that will receive the rods. Yeah, I'll have 4 rods that go through the tires, you'll understand in a minute. Now we need bearings, so welcome to the backyard of failures. Well, there's just my flying machine. Not so bad. Don't think I'm gonna be back on this thing in the near future, and that axle trailer bearing looks quite good for what I need. So I need to completely disassemble it because I'm gonna add and machine an adapter to fit the axle pipe. Again, using a cross-section of the axle, I check the fit. Speaking of the axle itself, there it is. Remember when I built the airbag trailer 3 years ago, I cut the metal section off because I didn't need it. And I never used it since because it's bent. It's made that way. It's a pre-bend, so once loaded, the axle will actually get straight. But now I think I got the right project to use it. Maybe I can make it great again. I mean straight again. Not bad. Now the rods. I couldn't find long enough all threads, so I'll butt joint them with rebars? Kinda curvy though. But you know, I'm using what I've got. Now drilling the tires, and I had to think about this one. How to get all 4 holes centered and through the tires and make sure everything's gonna line up perfectly. Here's the plan I came up with. First, these are all 15-inch wheel, so I added stoppers on the crust wheel, thus centering the wheel on the tire. Then, using a foot-long 1/4-inch drill bit, I'm poking the first hole and I'm trying to drill a second one as straight as possible. Then, using an hole saw, I open up the hole sides. Yeah, but the downside of it, after each cut, you have to remove the plug. Kind of a tedious job to do. Then I flip it. Using once again the crust wheel, I aligned it with the pre-drill hole and then repeat the process. And hopefully you end up with aligned through holes. At this stage, I've got a small concern. You see, bare tires without wheels and pressurized air are pretty soft. Maybe a bit too much, because as I said, I'm gonna put a counterweight on this roller, and I'm a bit worried that the tires will not sustain all that weight. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. This ain't gonna work. Plan B. I stacked 3 tires, then I put the first flat crust wheel, and being a weekend project, I was pressed by time, so I painted the wheel on the go. Then I stacked 2 more tires and the other flat crust wheel, which we see here. And I completed with 3 more tires and a bulky crust wheel. I know how it looks, but it's not what you think. So the wheel should be 4 inches to the right, yeah, about there. That's why I use all threads, but funny enough, I thought by tightening the bolts, all tires will squeeze a little. But in fact, it's just the first one that gets squished. Let's try the other side too. Okay, to help distribute the pressure, maybe I could gently massage each tire. Kinda hard to see on camera, but it greatly helped. And eventually I got the wheel at the right position, ready to be welded. Then I fabbed up some brackets. Got the tire roller on the frame. And again, painting on the go. Time for the counterweight. 12 years ago, I poured this block of concrete for a fence and never used it. But 4 months ago, I brought it in the shop to make a 3-point ballast weight for the masse. But it's really in the way, and I kept hitting my shins on it. Ow! Ah! Fucker! After a bit of prep and a new anchor point, it was ready to be moved. By the way, it's about 400 pounds. Ah, what a relief! I secured it with a ratchet strap, and it was time for the first test, and all of this was in one single weekend. And I did get lucky on this one. Normally when filming YouTube videos, when you need sun, you're gonna get clouds, or in our case, when you need snow, you get rain. But luckily, Mother Nature went in my favor for this one, delivering a fresh layer of snow, and today is just the right temperature for compaction. If only the algorithm could go my way too. Oh well, peut pas tout avoir. Okay, I gotta say, the roller is a great addition to my tractor in winter mode, but it's never gonna replace a snowblower because each one has their own purpose. The roller compacted the snow flawlessly, and the tires sustained all the weight. I got to admit that it's a bit bouncy though. Bang, 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 bang. As I'm writing this voiceover, we are a week later and we had about 4 inches of snow. And because I did the compaction prior to this fresh snow, it was a breeze to blow using the snowblower. Alright, I'm Viny B, thanks for watching and see you on the welding fixture table series.